thought you were pretty good. I used to hate your coaching. I used to think you were pretty bad. No offense.
I don't generally do this, but I definitely want to know from you, since this will be different based on how similar MMR we are. What are you thinking about, going into this start of the game? We're what are you thinking about, generally speaking, for your lane, for the heroes in the game, your role in the game?
I probably just need to survive the lane. Like, they're going to spam us. They're going to be double ranged and just spam us. I think that I need to make sure I connect with my Tusk. I need to make sure that I'm just arrowing on Tusk Snowball and Tusk Shards, and we can kill anyone in the game. We have like 900 magic damage, so I need to make sure that I'm in a good position to scout them across the map, arrow their creeps. For sure, I want to arrow their creeps. Like, I want to find some way to block the Ancients or Lina. I want to spam arrow on their hard creeps on their side if I can, and then I want to back off the map and play behind the Tusk, ideally, kill anyone on map. And eventually my Ursa will also just start jumping people. And I'll just buy Force Staff, and I want to save people from Sky Ult. That's basically all I want to do this game.
Okay, yeah, no, so that's good. There's so many different things to think about, obviously. Like, the way I would look at this game at the forefront is this a mid tiny? Is that I'm probably trying to shut down Sky's rotations more than I am trying to make my own, and that's just because I think my carry is going to be under a ton of pressure from the lane. Whenever I think of Viper, Death Prophet, all these type of annoying range shitters, I just think the carry's just has to not be griefed in the laning phase. He's probably not going to have the best lane, but he just needs to not be griefed. I would prioritize defensive moves early, just saying as long as me and the Sky are trading impact in the first 5-6 minutes of the game, I'm pretty sure Ursa will feel pretty good about that. He'll probably get his Ring of Health, whatever he elects to go for, maybe not Battle Fury because you have a mag. But it's he'll get past that early tough phase, and then from there, I would lean towards itemizing for myself to block the Sky ganks rather than saving people from Sky ganks, just because none of my cores, even though they're all melee, none of them actually want to get initiated onto, or if the Sky sees them before they see them, then before they see the Sky, any of them get completely
they're
wrecked
gonna
by
get
silence.
silenced, and they can't move, right? No
Yeah.
stable, no skewer, no enrage.
Yeah, so I feel I'd either go Yules or Mech into Greaves or something like that to save myself, but then position myself so that the Sky sees me first. Not to get killed by the Tiny. Tiny's still an issue, but that would be my mindset, but obviously a lot changes between now and that portion of the game. So what's the idea here? Why do you guys want to control top?
Or for the treant.
Oh, clearing the trees for tree. Okay.
Yeah, we clear trees and walk away.
Makes sense.
I think it's good.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, I don't exactly know where Sky is here, and the way I would do this is that I would purposely scout the Sky in a way that makes it so I'm not getting 2v1'd. So, if Sky's over here, then I'm gonna, either way he is, right? I'm thinking, he could be here, could be here. I would walk like this, where if I were to run into Sky, it's me versus Sky. He's probably gonna concussive shot me instead of the Ursa, which is fine with me. And if Sky's over here, then I'm going to start clicking the Death Prophet.
As soon as I click the DP, the interaction will start, right? And then Sky will be forced to do something.
Exactly. So what I don't like about this is, based on one of the two spots, you could get nuked by Sky, and then now you're getting clicked by two people at the same time.
Yeah, we both got hit by the concussive really bad.
Yeah, so that was a super bad trade.
You can do whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I would have walked left there at the very start. So you actually blocked the big camp. Interesting, okay. So you like to take Q. I see most Maranas take Q. I personally don't, but I think I'm telling you, that's a playstyle preference. So
Gary would flame me if I take arrow, so I can't do it. Sorry.
Yeah. No, because for the thing for me is that if I'm playing on the side and soaking up the attention and then feeding him tangos, I feel I'm getting griefed. Meaning as a Marana, I'm fucked if that happens to me. So if I'm thinking my plan in the lane is to soak all of the damage, then I actually want to take arrow just to take the big camp out of the equation, but also give myself.
Right? That's an interesting idea for sure.
Yeah. So that it's if I think we can actually be strong, then I like to take the Q, because then you're enabling your guy. But yeah.
Yeah, we are extremely not cool. I'm dead.
Yeah, because the thing about this build is, okay, so I think it's interesting that you said your carry would flame you. Is because you and I are both in a similar spot where we're talking about support heroes, but most of our career we both played carry. So it's I definitely want to be careful of not being the carry player that's serve me, but I also have realized when I watch support players that they'll do some things that don't make sense to me from the core perspective, and then I realize that whatever they're doing is usually based on you know, supports need something. Like, they need to take care of themselves, like, a little bit. Otherwise, they turn into the 0-11 CM dying to the wolves. So, so like, in this case, it's like, obviously, with a teammate in a competitive environment, you would need to clear this up. You can't just, like, do it and say, trust me. But it's like, I would, like, if you think that playing like this is going to grief your hero, which in this case, it's so much damage coming out from both the right ranged guys, I think you guys have to play like super chill in the lane. I'm thinking I want to minimize interaction with the opponent as much as possible. I want to like draw the Sky out of lane as much as possible, which means I need my small camp. I actually want to be playing over here the majority of the time, which in that case, I actually would like the big camp to be there because they can't really make use of it that well, like as long as they're not pulling
they're
it.
double range, right? So if they pull it, then the DP can't take the weight. Like if there's a melee hero, they can probably just like tank or whatever.
Yeah, they can tank it over here, right?
Yeah, but they're double range, so if they pull the hard, the Ursa will just get the farm it most likely, and then take a wave under tower, something like that.
Yeah, so I think your build's like a lot about trading and like enabling your carry to be strong, and I think that's like almost what I would call Dota denial, where it's like, sorry man, you have an Ursa against two range guys. Like he's not strong, you know. Like there's nothing we can do as a support to change that.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. I could bring 2 sentries to my lane. I'm sure that's better too. I would sentry my small at like minute 0 or whatever to make sure I secure it, and then leave both camps and just like arrow the large right away, something like that. I'm sure you can do it with your Q as well. I'm sure you don't need arrow to play like that as well, but
yeah, it's not even about like the skill build necessarily. If you can do it with your Q, it's more like, because you're super high MMR as well, I more so want to lean towards like suggesting a playstyle and a way of thinking rather than like you need to do it this specific way. So like all I care about is minimizing the interaction and playing for pulls. So if you could do that with your Q and like make it so you're trading favorably with the Sky or something on the side of the lane, that's like great. As long as like the idea that you're trying to accomplish is the same.
yeah, you're actually achieving it.
Yeah. So so having the pull camp available. Sorry, I'm fast forwarding. Yeah, obviously like having the pull camp not available minute 1, 2, and 3 makes it really tough. Because if I am buying tangos, we've already talked about it. Like I want that extra like 150 gold in the lane, and I'll just keep buying them for my guy. So now you're level 3. You went secured rune. That's all good. Okay, so you buy yourself raindrops. How's Ursa doing? Okay.
Not good.
Yeah. It's weird, but I do think what happened level 1 and then you dying, like, this lane's very difficult to salvage at this point. He even took 2 points Q. I would almost argue he's kind of griefing himself too.
Yeah, I'm sure we're both doing lots wrong.
Yeah, you're both like overcompensating. Like, so it started off poorly. Like even just that level 1 trade of the 2-man concussive and losing like 300 HP each was like a big deal in a lane like this.
It starts there. We lose like way too much resource, and then I die. Like literally gives Sky full resource again, like a reset. And like if we take all this guy's mana and we sit there, and this guy eventually like loses mana, like I'm spamming enough regen, I don't die. It's pretty chill, but. I mean, especially if I die, I give him full mana, it's going to be really bad for us.
Yeah. Like, this is a lane where... I've mentioned the interaction part a lot, but I feel like as a carry, I feel like I have no synergy with your hero in lane. Like, if I'm like a CK or a Naga or something like that, obviously I set up your arrow and that's great. I just generally think if my hero doesn't work with yours in lane, like as a carry, it's totally fine to pick a hero that doesn't enable Mirana, because I think Mirana has 2 different playstyles. She can be the synergistic... like bully lane, you have a lane winning carry like CK against Mars offlane or something, and it's like it's our job to just dumpster this guy. But then like what I like so much about Mirana myself is that if my guy just picks like Spectre or Ursa, a hero with no setup or anything, I get to play by myself a lot more. That's mainly this whole it's at this point it's redundant, but it's like I want you out of lane as much as possible because this Ursa needs level 6 and just get out of here circumstance. So like I anticipate he'll probably leave lane around level 6 anyways, because most carries can't occupy lane against DP, and then I'll get the lane there anyways because it's really hard to kill my hero with Sky and Death Prophet. But so at this point Tiny's coming down. I think your only role in this game is a gank tank, like as a Mirana. I think that's the only thing I can do.
Yeah.
So you actually TP top. Unfortunate. Yeah, unfortunate.
Yeah, really ruined. I should not use my W. It's very new.
That was very it looked. You can see the panic. You know, you can see a little bit of panic in there. I feel like if you're completely level-headed right now, that's just a mistake you wouldn't make.
Yeah, Superman. Anytime you use a stun when you only have one or whatever, and they're gonna TP, it's like a massive error. Like surely you didn't think about that.
Yeah. So what's interesting about this is we're forcing a lot of engagements in the mid lane. I guess I'm trying to think about how I would word this. If I was my issue whenever I play against people like Death Prophet is that if we ever invest a lot of resources on some other guy, usually the Death Prophet can then like turn our lack of resources into pressure that we can't deal with anymore. So the lineup that you have based on like Death Prophet's having a good game. I think he's probably #1 net worth. Yeah. He's like having a really good game. He's going to dictate the pace of the game, and you guys have Mag Ursa. All you want is time. I would be making moves that are purely defensive, and I'd be like setting up like the Tundra initiation or like initiative, like one guy farms bottom, one support sits between bottom and mid, one guy sits mid nuking the creep waves, the other support sits behind the other core that they think might get pressured or something, and then just hold the wall. You know, like we have this wall of like maybe this.
Yeah,
that's
you're just
ours.
Gonna hold your side and stand there and let them walk in and
exactly. And if they overextend, like a hero like Death Prophet's gonna have a tough time getting out. You have like displacement spells with Rubik, Mag.
Yeah.
So I don't like hate this play. It's just I'm a bit concerned now what might happen afterwards since you guys brought so many heroes here and then traded mids. I think like that might just lead to. So the Death Prophet actually goes bottom. I thought it might lead to potentially the opponent turning that into something of their own.
Yeah, I think the DP should stay mid. I don't think he should go bottom.
I think that
if he stays mid, we're gonna both mids are gonna TP back. We're involved in a 4v4 for sure, and it definitely doesn't favor us. I think.
Yeah, I agree. Dude, arrowing those catapults, man, they're unpredictable sometimes. Those madmen just fucking.
He's just juking it.
They just run into the fucking tower, man. Like it's crazy. Yeah. So, but. So I guess like my major thing that I see in this game is that it starts like minute 0 that we've already talked about, not only with like your skill build, but the way you're playing the lane, but it's also I know I need like Boots Windlace in this game because as Mirana, there's really only one way to like quote unquote make space for your team. It's like if you're a Snap, you're probably gonna sit behind your Tusk mid and protect him because if he gets gone on by Sky, you cookie him and save him from the combo. But as a Mirana, if your teammates get initiated onto, I feel like you just stand there and watch them get initiated onto, and you're just like, my hero sucks. So, like, what I like to do when I feel like I know my teammates don't want to get initiated onto is make myself the guy that's getting initiated onto the map. And so, like, I would have at minute 0 thought, okay, lane bottom kind of sucks because like whenever it's an offlaner that's ranged as a carry, I'm just accepting or not ranged, but we already talked about the Death Prophets and shit. I just know my lane's gonna be whatever.
Get beat up. He's a punching bag or whatever.
It's like if I'm level 6 within a minute of him, I'm like pretty happy with the result of the lane if I'm Ursa. And so I'm then thinking like not only is that the case, so we're in like damage control, we're not in like win lane mode, but then this is like a pretty predictable outcome where this tower's dead and this tower's not because they have Death Prophet plus Tree 5, so he protects towers and you're offlaner. Yeah, and you have Mag. So I would have planned for this, like with the early lane. And I think that the best way to assist your Ursa was to actually have high net worth on your hero. Like not high net worth.
Net worth doesn't matter, right? It's just levels. I just need damage.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah, like high resources on your hero.
Yeah.
So like in this case, what I would think is actually best is Ursa likes showing up to random skirmishes if other people are getting gone on. So I would have rather him be allowed to like play off map and be farming like this area and then having you like take this and maybe even take the tower defense. Like you're probably going to die 2 times defending this tower, but like that whole time it's you getting killed instead of Ursa. And then I feel like if the lane goes a bit better, they probably have to take 2 Death Prophet ultimates to kill your tower, but it's going to die. Nothing you can do about it. And then I would want you like playing down here. And then instead of you playing here where you're trying to arrow the catapult, I would think you're here, and then if they surmount pressure mid, you would then be ready to like walk towards mid. So you're like relieving pressure on both lanes, and you're a hero that can kind of do that because you have mobility, a mobility spell. and if you ran into like Tiny, you'd just be like, "Ah, shit," and then run away.
Yeah, especially during daytime, for sure.
Yeah, because it's like if you're a CM and you try to do that and you run into Tiny, you just fucking die. But then obviously that's not possible though. When I say high net worth, I'm talking like 400 more net worth than you have right now.
Yeah, I
like
need boots for sure.
You need boots windlace to do this job, right? And this is just the kind of thing where I guess at the minute 0, I've just tried to create this vision of exactly what I think the mid game is going to look like, and then what I best think I can do to supplement our team's plan. And so, like you said, or like I said earlier, we're on like hold door, like just delay their timing as much as possible, draw attention away from our cores rather than like trying to save them. And then once I've like accomplished this, where I feel like, you know, maybe Death Prophet Ultimate's on cooldown, we're not under pressure for like the next 100 seconds, then that's when I look to play around Tusk and make plays of our own. And in this current moment, like I also think it's really important as Mirana that none of your cores feel good by themselves on the map. And I think one thing that makes snaking like so good at like Mirana and Phoenix is that these heroes, they're so good at playing alone on the map as supports. Like most supports don't play like this, right? But if you have like a Mirana Phoenix, you are probably the best hero to go down here, right? Because you have decent wave clear, you get higher levels, you can assist your team somewhat from across the map. But then the mobility aspect also allows you already, like I said, to swoop your way back into the mid lane. And just none of your cores, right? Like who's gonna go down here, right? Like nobody feels good being down here. Mag wants to be near Ursa. Tusk is like, he definitely wants to be playing just like generally this area. So it's Rubik's pretty much the only other one that could be playing here. And I'd rather Rubik probably be like this area because he's like a good mid lane defender when you're not really a good mid lane defender. Just, you know, long range compared to short range. And then yeah, if this all makes sense. So the issue I have now is I feel like I don't want you to be the first guy mid. Like I would want you down here feeling really good about what's happening, but you know that the mid tower is their next objective. Like you know that because, you know.
Yeah, ready to connect. You're ready.
That's just Dota, exactly. So ready to connect to this, but also not the first one there. One lesson that I've learned playing a lot of Lina that I realized I was really bad at was calculating who I thought needed to be the first one there. And I realized like 90% of my bad deaths on Lina were me willingly being the first one to like defend a tower or initiate something. And obviously Lina, when she does that, she just fucking dies. So
yeah, she's like sniper levels of backliner.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like if I want to defend a tower, if I want to take a tower, if I want to take a gank, if I'm Lina, I'm always just following some other hero that enables me to help them. So I'm thinking here that like you're definitely not the ideal guy to sit mid. It's Rubik. So if we get that hierarchy of who's the best at what on the map down a little bit better, it's gonna have Rubik here, you guys trading. You would be farming 3 lanes. Rubik's gonna be like soaking XP here. You're probably gonna lose mid tower, but you're trading in a game where you're down by 3k. And I think that's pretty chill. But I would say since you guys are sitting 2 mid, this actually feels kind of bad.
Yeah, I'm pretty low level too, and I'll stay low level for a long time. Let me take a lane.
So you guys end up taking the fight, which is actually... So you guys actually save your tower. Potentially. Yeah, I actually think you showing up to this fight would be the exact same if you walked like this, right? It would even leave you the option to potentially like deward this cliff.
Yeah, I mean, I might TP. It looks like I would just TP when it starts.
Yeah. I'm just saying, depending on the way the fight breaks out, you might just TP. If you're mag TPs and shit. You just have to be careful of that because you delay your cores.
Whatever side it's on. If the fight's on the right side, I'll just walk behind them. And if the fight's on the left, I mean, I'll probably TP.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, I'm pretty sure until you plant yourself bottom lane, this game's like super awkward. I think you just are the best bottom lane farmer in this game, and I've always realized as support, if I don't farm somewhere, then somebody else has to farm there. Like, if I'm Ursa, I'd much rather be in the Ancients. And I really do think this whole idea of, like, holding this line, like this is about what you guys control, I would say. If we just hold that, then the game would just look way better. And I think because you're not bottom as a carry, I would be like, well, I guess I go here, because this is technically better than Ancients, but it's technically more gold, but I would rather just be sitting in the Ancients because I have a mag. I'm not going to really comment on the fact that you have a Brown Boots Battle Fury Ursa with mag on your team, but, you know, I am commenting. That seems a little weird. So I'm not sure if that's like discussed, but I think the Ursa had to participate more in the fights. And if we like enabled him to participate in the fights a bit more, by drawing attention to ourselves on the map, I think that would just be huge. Because they have a lineup that wants to chase people who show on lanes, and then the Lina hits creeps. The Tiny and Sky, they want to run around the map ganking. The Death Prophet's just going to be a body. She's just going to sit somewhere. Tree's probably going to play up here. And so it's probably like Lina scooping all this, Tree playing up here, Death Prophet sitting in this area and just being ungankable, and then the Tiny and Sky roaming back and forth between here. So like your hero's role in the game would be, from my perspective, would be to farm this bottom lane, but then while the bottom lane's too far out like this, I would just stand like right here in this area. And I think it's really difficult for the opponent to make plays at that point. And the play that is made would be you. They just kill you.
It's hard to kill me without Tiny Blink. When they have Tiny Blink, I'm sure I'll just...
Yeah.
As referenced in later in this game, I'm sure I'll just explode, but yeah.
Yeah, so like this is an instance where I think the lane is too far out. Like I think basically like right here would be the lane. And so I would want... It's just this entire mode, right? I'm thinking their only play is to try to find my carry, right? Like I am this wall for the carry. So this is your job to gank tank here, I think.
Yeah, I step out of position.
Yeah, and then they barely sneak past you. It was like that brief hesitation. Yeah, it was like that brief hesitation that you had to go for this wave though, because you're like, oh, there's a wave, but no, I need to go back. So it's like obviously so close, and it sucks that you were like a second late. But I think this idea of like the reason why I want you to farm bottom is because it shields the Ursa, right? So every time I'm considering going to the bottom wave, I would ask myself like, does this shield Ursa better than something else? And like in that case, since everyone's missing, I wouldn't walk up to the bottom wave. Yeah. Ideally, I might do it too, but I ideally would not walk up to the bottom wave. I guess when I'm watching you guys, I guess I'd have to ask you, like, I don't know what you guys are trying to do. It's not like a flame. I just don't see the plan, I guess. Like, I don't see, like, what are you guys thinking? Like, what are the general comms going on here?
I mean, you could argue that, I mean, our draft is, like, not so good. I guess that you could start with that argument, right? But you have to play the game anyway.
Yeah.
So I think for us, just getting Ursa huge, like, defending our side, killing them again. I mean, I would say it's still what I thought about in the pregame. The same thing applies. Like, Tusk needs to be ready with Mirana Rubik behind him. Freaking kill them on entry. They're going to walk in. We need to start with our spells. And I think cycling your spells right away is really important, right? Like, if someone walks in and we press all of our nukes on them, then 12 seconds later, we can go on someone else. There's like a timer there, right?
Yeah, you guys are pretty low cooldown. Yeah.
The goal is to just be grouped when they enter, kill whoever walks in on entry. We might lose a hero. We might lose 2 heroes. Like, we might die doing it, but kill whoever enters our land and have Ursa flash farm everything. And as soon as Ursa can be ready to like enter the game and Mag gets blink, then you'll actually like, do something in this game, because you need Mag blink for sure to actually start on anyone. And you need Ursa to actually be willing to connect. I mean, if you're behind like this, I mean, it's not easy for this guy to connect, especially with the items he has. I mean, he could have Phase Boots Diffusal and it's a different game, but with Battle Fury, I mean, we just can't do anything. And that's
it is what it is. Like, no.
Yeah. I mean, you can see what I'm doing on the map, right? You see what I draw? I draw like the big line across.
Is that like saying...
I'm saying to camp our wards, like, protect behind the line. Like, camp the wards behind the line. Like, let's camp them or whatever. Let's, like, use these 2 wards bottom to kill them when they enter our land. And make sure that the Ursa can farm everything that's not, like... He'll just get everything. Like, Ursa can farm everything. I don't care. Like, no one else can farm anything, basically. But that's life.
Okay. Yeah, so all that makes sense. I'm just thinking, like... What I love about Dota, but it's also painful sometimes in a team environment, is, like, there's like 100 different ways I feel like we could interpret this exact scenario. So I guess, like, my thoughts, at the end of the day, it comes down to how your team ends up wanting to coordinate, but my thoughts on this situation is that if I'm losing like this, that we have to have some play, right? And I think the only play that could ever happen would be sneaking Rosh. And I'm not saying to, like, go Ninja Rosh or anything. But it's like, if Ursa's off map, that does give us an option. Like, if theoretically the opponent brought 4 or 5 heroes bottom, we could immediately walk into Rosh.
Yeah, if DP Exo's bottom, right? Like, we're pinging Rosh, we're saying,
Yeah, exactly. So I'm thinking, like, if we had a play, that would be it. It's not like I'm trying to do it at any point, but it's more reactionary because you're losing. So it's like, I guess what I'm thinking is whenever I'm losing, we have to have, like, some pressure on the opponent whatever it may be. It's obviously going to be slim to none, and sometimes you just got to pick the best of a shitty options. But like some of the big things that stand out to me here is one, the potential objective your team could take, which is Roche, and then two, I always hate when supports are allowed to farm the dead lane by themselves. Like I think that that's like a really dangerous thing to allow to happen, because how much space you'd be creating earlier in the game if you were here is like the equivalent of what this guy's doing for his team. But since he's winning, it's like he's allowing his team to do literally whatever they want on the map. So like this is a moment where I would instinctually call like, can we just boot this tree out of here? Like, they want to play here. Like the opponent wants to invade us because of the heroes they have. I'm thinking like they want to play down here, and even though we have wards here, I would use that as like, okay, we know where they, like we see the area they want to play, but like I would use this opportunity more like they don't want to be near this tree. Like this tree, his dream is to just sit here farming these creeps and living armor his cores. It's like I treat this almost like a Spectre and from the support role. It's like he doesn't need to be anywhere near his team. He doesn't want anyone on his team there. So like I would just say any move here, like, and if you're losing, right, it doesn't even have to kill the tree. If you force like
anyone who TPs is.
Yeah, anyone who TPs, suddenly you guys can like farm backwards back across the map. You might even get to control this area. Like maybe you force a TP and the Skywrath Mage is then walking through your ward here, and you know, you call for a Tusk TP to here and you kill the Sky, something like that. So yeah, I guess it's just, I'm thinking of any power we could have to influence the map. So in this case, you're thinking to defend what you have. And my only qualm with it is that it doesn't really fit your lineup to hold areas.
Yeah, we're not.
Like,
I mean, we can do it. I mean, we're good at relocating for sure. Like our towers are easy to hold.
Yeah, I think you're good at like swinging around. Your lineups are like you said. It's like quick play, back off, go again. Like that's how I think your lineup flourishes.
Yeah, they're pressing EXO, and they're gonna stand wherever they are, and they're just gonna hit us. Like, but they're just gonna frontline whatever, right? Tiny blinks in, and then they're in. And I mean, Tiny can relocate too, but obviously we're much more reliant on the relocation to actually like make something happen.
Yeah, exactly. They have Tiny for sure, but they have DP, Tree, Lina. Like Lina's walking around farming, and these two heroes are pretty slow. So in terms of moving around the map, I guess my question would just be like, what makes you decide between making plays and like holding hills? Because like for me, it's a lot about my carry hero. Like I as an Ursa, I don't really want to hold hills. It's like if I'm like a Drow or Sniper, I would prioritize holding hills, but as like Ursa, I'd rather be like moving around. So I guess like as a team, what do you guys usually do to like what dictates that, I guess?
I think, I mean, oftentimes it depends exactly what you're doing. It also depends on like day or nighttime, right? Like in this example, I have one obs, but I have 2 wards bottom, and it's gonna be nighttime. And
it's true.
Like these high ground wards are way higher value during nighttime, I would argue. So
they are.
If it's also when it's daytime, I mean, the enemy play like requires a smoke to actually succeed. As long as you're not just like farming near a low ground, like I mean, I would call that noob, right?
Yeah.
But as long as you're either in the lane or you're on a high ground, like in the jungle, you're not gonna get killed by a play unless it's a smoke. At least for nighttime, I'm thinking to myself that we don't have any vision top. If I could have a good ward top, a sneaky one, like deep in their jungle, that would see them rotate there. I mean, making the play on the tree is definitely good to just move up there and let the Ursa farm your side. And the Ursa will just like it should also probably lead with like, it should start with, we have sneaky wards bottom, right? Because if you have hill wards bottom and you go kill tree, you're going to lose your hill wards like 100%.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
So, I mean, in this case, I like make the decision like instinctively, like I was just feeling in the game. I'm just like, okay, well, I'm not in a good position to smoke us top or whatever. And I'm just going to put this ward here, and I think we can hold it. So it's like just instinctual, I guess. And they'll hold our jungle.
Yeah.
Right here, I mean, I could argue this smoke is super easy. My team is like super noob here. I'm taking the bottom angle. They should walk either in the river and surround them and take 2 free kills, or they should walk with me and surround them. But they just walk up the hill right in front of them.
Yeah, this Tiny should probably die.
Yeah,
this
like Tiny will die here. We'll kill 2 people here, I'm pretty sure, while Tree's showing top. I actually think the opposite in this game. I think Tree showing top is pretty noob here, like conceptually, because like they're so much stronger than us that all they need is one body. Like if Tree is bottom right now, we cannot do this. Like we're gonna walk into Tree, and then Tiny's gonna get to press spells, and Sky will get to press spells, and then Lina can like maybe walk over, like she's flash farming everything behind where they are right now, and like it'll probably get bad for us, I would say. So to me, when I see Tree top, I'm thinking that they have a weakness bottom actually, and we should hold the ward if they're gonna enter deep. Obviously,
I think
it's
when
a
you
decent
see the
banner,
two
but-
heroes, I'm in agreement entirely with you. That you're like, what are these two guys fucking doing? Trees showing top, kill them. I
do
am in
think,
agreement
though,
with you. Go ahead.
killing the tree is like if they're not entering bottom and you have like cheeky wards there and you realize that like or you do realize they're like actually entering, like the best way to do that I would say is actually to have like a lane ward, like dire tier 1 tower bottom actually, like ward somewhere like on
like
the
over here.
outside. I mean, maybe not in the lane, maybe it's just like in the two jungle camps, like the large and the small.
Yeah,
But
like
you
over
want to see what's happening. If you see Lina farming there, then you know that they're probably not doing like the Lina's just alone. She's just flash farming everything, right? And you can decide, then you'll know that they're defending the tree and you shouldn't go top. But if you see them entering, like you see them about to take your jungle, then you'll be like, okay, go kill tree, right? Because now like forcing them top, like if you kill tree and they're already in their jungle, like ready to kill you, you're not doing anything. You're just feeding, right? But if you kill tree and they're actually bottom and they're gonna TP, then it's definitely good to force the pressure there, I think.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. A lot of this was all like, there's so many options to choose here, and I was just curious. Yeah, I was curious why you chose the one you did. It makes sense now.
Now we're doing the same thing, right? We just can't figure a ward, hoping they're walking in, and we can't route.
Yeah.
Now
I think if you guys killed the
route.
Tiny, this would be like a very different scenario.
Yeah, we would advance bottom right away if we kill Tiny, and then we would try to take control of Roche for sure.
You guys would probably advance bottom, try to force them to come here, and then back off and control Roche. I imagine that's
exactly.
what you would have done. Yeah.
Yeah. This is so much freaking funny, dude. I arrow the illusion, and then I walk up. I'm
So
super
you-
noob.
Oh.
I mean, I arrow like the illusion or whatever. The real guy is just like standing waiting. But the illusion took so little damage because my arrow's level 1. I got confused. I'm like, what the hell?
And melee illusions are a bit of a bait for sure. This play is like what I was hoping for, something similar in the top, where you force them to all TP and then we get out. If we can get out here, it's like super sick.
Yeah, it was very, very good for us. This play was sick. I'm not even involved though. Like,
Yeah, you didn't do shit.
Yeah, I fed first, so.
You scouted the Roche, man, Copium.
Yeah, I scouted the Roche, arrowed an illusion, and then exploded. That's common theme this game. I should probably not. I should deny the rune, but yeah.
You took the risky route, the high risk.
Yeah, the high
no
risk
reward.
play. Now I got this DD. I'm farming this blade.
Oh yeah.
Beasting out right now. Got my arcane boots at 18 minutes. Pretty as fuck.
I think the funny thing about this game, though, is I realize when I play heroes like Mirana, is the second I just start doing my own random shit on the map, we kind of start winning. Like,
Yeah.
you were doing like this, and then your team, and then like you were farming mid by yourself, and then like I don't know, it's just funny because I love to play alone on Mirana. Like I know that's so greedy as support sometimes, but I actually think a lot of the time it's her optimal play to play alone and connect. It just sucks here because once they're already established on the tower, your hero doesn't really do much.
Yeah.
So it's like if we rewind.
Yeah, you would argue I'm in the right position now, right? Like I'm actually just standing bottom and waiting.
Yeah, and it's probably
no
just a
way
bit
we
too
can stop
late,
it.
right?
Yeah, it's too late.
Yeah, if you
Definitely.
started this earlier, it probably would have been nice. Yeah, at this point, yeah, it's a good D ward, but
Yeah, getting the ward is good. I mean, I knew pregame they're gonna place this ward and they surround the tower, so I'm just keeping there to take it.
that was with some scouting report, I see.
I watched the replays. I
course.
give them some respect. Like, we can watch the replays. Look at the wards.
Yeah, totally. And so, like, for me, this is like the exact same thought, where if I just follow my team like this, dude, to me it feels so pointless as Mirana. Like, I feel like, or not pointless, powerless. I feel like so useless. Like in this spot specifically, like they have Aegis. They just took this tower, so they're like almost certainly 5-manning here. And I'm like looking at our lineup and thinking like, I don't see how this guy is gonna land any meaningful spells. This guy can't go in yet because he doesn't have BKB, and our Tusk is doing something here. So I really emphasize getting out on the map for myself in these moments. Just like, don't get the whole bait of like waiting with your team in front of the tower.
As soon as you're behind mid tower, there's nothing to farm, right? You're in between.
You're done. yeah, you're just fucking done. So in this case, I would take this rare opportunity to like maybe check top rune and connect to my Tusk. And my only thought there is that it would prevent maybe Tree from like solo defending top. Potentially,
Yeah,
I don't even know if you can kill him.
We'll kill him with blink punch for sure.
Yeah, you'll kill him, right? Yeah. So it's like,
I mean, we might die, but we'll kill him.
like if you guys kill the tree and they TP 4 heroes here, that's probably worth it, right?
Yeah, it is for sure. I mean, that's 400 gold in TPs, right? I mean, we're low net worth. We're gonna die. We'll give them 250 plus like shared, so it's like 400 gold to kill, 400 gold in TPs, and they lose some camps for sure. It's about even.
Yeah, and I feel like
this game is great for sure. So
yeah. I feel like as Mirana, there's just different types of heroes in Dota in regards to like whether or not they sit behind towers, and I just if I'm Mirana and I think the opponent's gonna group up for a tower, I would rather be the guy setting up somewhere else or doing stuff like dewarding or even setting up a ward, like setting up my own shit. Like that's what I would rather be doing, because if I feel like the opponent's sitting as 5 as Mirana, my hero's kind of useless. Like in these situations, like you're just the type of hero that stands there watching them hit the tower, and there's not like much else you can do. And I think if you walked top, like instead, like if you were right here and you took the rune and walked top, Tusk would probably still be playing here. Like he would feel good about playing here. If I'm like a core and I'm by myself.
I mean, if I walk top on Mirana, there's a chance my Ursa follows me too. Something like that.
Yeah, just your cores will definitely be influenced by this play. I feel like the second go here,
they'll see that I'm giving them vision to like not explode to off map, and they'll maybe walk behind me and form the camp.
Yeah, that's actually exactly what I'm thinking. Yeah. It's like if I'm Tusk, I don't feel good about this camp after showing mid because maybe Tree TP here sets up with like overgrowth and slowing me and shit and just being annoying, and then but if I have a Mirana walking like right here, I feel perfectly safe to do this. Ursa, like you said, might be safe to do this. And I think as supports, we underestimate how useful it is that, like you just said, we could just die. Like for our teammates, it's like if the tiny sky reveal their position on the map, that actually helps our teammates so much in a circumstance like this. So that's why, Mirana's so good at that, because they can't look at you and undercommit to killing you. They would have to blink, avalanche, toss combo you, and like sky silence you, and then you will die. Right? It's like okay, you will die if they do that.
I mean, they only have one killer. It's just it's not even Sky. Like it's just Tiny. Like the Sky will be with the Tiny, but it's like Sky can't do anything by himself. He's useless as hell.
Yeah, this spot just feels so bad because the only thing you guys had going for you was Tusk playing top. This is like the only play we had. And it's not even like a play. It's just like you guys are getting something off the map, and now it's like, now you're stuck in base. They're doing exactly what they want with this Aegis. They're just walking down a lane together. They've got Death Prophet Treant, and it's like at this spot the only question, like I always think, how can I get back up here? Like that's all I want to do. If they decide to TP like this, I would then say, how can we do this? I was like, how can we do this now? I would probably. We don't have BKB yet.
He has it, some career.
Okay, the second I see this TP, I feel like you guys probably should make a move.
I mean, we should do that. This guy should not be there. Like, we should do something. But
yeah, this seems
like I don't think we have like everyone on the team doesn't want to do it, so it won't happen. But I would argue like something should happen there. As soon as you see Tiny TP top, I mean that's like a really bad place for the Tiny to be. It's like he's all their threat. He's gonna show like in the worst part of the map. Like it's like really useless for him to be there.
Yeah, I guess like moving forward, is this not a spot that you think the team should just like 5-man into your own woods right now?
Yeah, I do think it is. But also like the Ursa is talking about his BKB, like there's lots of stuff going on where people aren't sure of it, and I'm like feeding my brains out, so I'm not gonna have the confidence to do it either.
I see. I guess like what I'm hearing is like, because I know I totally know how many things are racing through your mind in competitive matches. I guess like
they're talking about the D ward. They're telling I missed the ward, and then they're spam pinging me about the other ward, actually.
Dude, I play with fucking Jenkins, man. I am used to the most random fucking shit being screamed in my ear when I'm trying to think during a Dota game. I understand. So, it's like, I guess, even if you were to, like, get your smoke detected, for instance, like, even if they saw you smoke from base right now, I feel like you're clearing your own woods, right? Like,
it wouldn't matter. We shouldn't smoke, because we can just walk in. Like,
yeah, I'm thinking, like, hypothetically, worst case, if you guys just walk into your own woods with 5 heroes, they're gonna walk away. Like, that is what the opponent's gonna do. Their Tiny's not here. Their
no
Death Prophet, no Death Prophet ulti. They're gonna walk away. So I guess, like, whenever they were bottom, I was looking for you guys to see some opportunity to, like, establish some pressure up here. And now that I see this guy do this, okay, so every decision I've been making myself for, like, the last 5 minutes is, like, how can we establish some semblance of control up here? Like, how can I create a little bit of pressure here to make them respond? And then, with all due respect to Kits, he just does, like, the lowest skill shit ever and just TPs there without you guys actually creating any pressure. And I'm like, oh, well, that's the... If I would have forced a TP here, like, by actually creating pressure...
We actually want to get Tiny's TP there.
What would I then do with that? You know, like, what if I...
It is interesting that the whole goal is to get Tiny there, and then he just goes there by himself, and we're like, oh shit, what just happened? And we don't even, like, take our jungle back. But yeah, that should be the goal.
Yeah, so I think if you're thinking in the way of, like, we want to force a reaction to top, and then that'll give us something to do in the game, that as a team, if you guys were on the same page there, none of this other shit would fucking matter, right? It's just like, this guy TPs, and everyone just does this.
I could argue it's as simple as Tiny. Like, we could even go with the intent to say, let's dive tree until Tiny shows up, and then leave, right? Like,
yeah.
That's
the dream TP.
Or whatever, right?
Yeah, because you said he's like their catalyst. He's their only killer on their entire team. So
yeah, no one else will die unless Tiny's there.
Yeah, so the fact that you guys see him TP, like him TPing, we already talked about, we think is pretty bad, and then you guys doing nothing with it, I think is equally bad. So we do something now, but they're all like, the Tiny had time to reconnect to his team. Death Prophet Ultimate's probably coming up soon, 15 seconds. Yeah, I think this part was just like a bit slow. I think the idea is correct, but it's just slow. You know, I always just look at this as like, so we've been coaching for like 50 minutes. Like, do you want to pause here? Do you think you've talked about enough for the week? Do you want to do another replay now? Like, what are you thinking?
Actually, I mean, sure, we can do it next week. I don't know what. Yeah, let's do it. We'll do one.
Like, generally for now, like, I think we've talked about a lot, but like, you know, I also don't coach people of your level very often, so if at all. Yeah, so I mean, it's like, do you feel like what we talked about is gonna change anything you thought about in your games this week, or like your approach to Mirana?
No, I'll keep things in mind. Yeah, for sure. No,
okay.
I actually do. Like, I would keep things in mind.
Yeah, because my goal. Okay.
Funny enough, but
oh, you win this one?
No, we don't. We almost win. We like come back, win a winning position, and then we ruin the game again. But
oh, the classic. It's funny because I always have the intent to make it through as much of the replay as possible, but there's just like some moments that, for whatever reason in Dota, certain moments just take like 10 minutes to talk about. So it's
stand out.
Yeah. So this game had a particularly high amount of them. Do you so I guess like all I would say is the idea of drawing attention away from your cores as Mirana is like a really cool thing to do. And that can sometimes be rotating to another core, like in the case of Tusk, it's like that is drawing attention away from mid, so potentially freeing up your Ursa to move around the map. And it's like, if you're playing more around here, you'd free up your Ursa to have a little bit less attention dedicated to him. Same idea in the lane too. I think that's a lot of like what Mirana can offer, and it's a lot about how much her cores can like frontline for her on the map. It's like, say you have a Naga carry against like a good matchup, right? So just like a hero she's gonna free farm against. Then that's when you can kind of play the way you're playing right now, where you like sit on cores, and if anybody fucks with them, you just arrow combo. But you have the cores that don't want to engage the opponent for a foreseeable amount of time. And as Mirana, you can be the wall for them and the information. So I think there's kind of two modes Mirana has, and I think you're kind of playing the other one when this is the one that I would think is correct for this game.
Do a better job at actually like scouting, getting out on the map, getting info, putting pressure on the opposite side.
Exactly, man. Cool. Happy to do it again next week.
Sure,
just let me know your time. Yeah,
I gotta check my schedule. I have matches next week, so I don't know if I can do the next weekend. Maybe.
No, it doesn't have to be like exactly a week from today. We can figure it out ourselves. So
sounds good. Thank you very much.
No problem. Dude. See you later.
Peace. Good luck in your pubs.
Peace. You too.